Well, first, I think a fine place to begin, as the national president of the National Palm Produce Association of Nigeria, you have a clearer view of what the subsector looks like at the moment. So you want to please provide an overview of the current state of things when it comes to palm oil production in Nigeria.
The industry blossomed up to the 60s and has been nosediving till now. We were world leaders in production and export, controlling over 60% all over the world up to the 60s. Petroleum was discovered and petroleum became the mainstay of Nigerian economy.
Attention shifted.
And the major source of revenue for government, both at national and subnational levels, and Nigeria became a congregational federation where every month governments at all levels gather in Abuja to share petroleum money, and we lost the glory. The industry currently produces 1.4 million tons in Nigeria per year, but we consume over 3 million tons per year. We are the number 5 in the production ladder in the world. Indonesia with 50 million tons, Malaysia with about 19 million tons, Thailand with over 5 million, and then Colombia with just about 2.2 million tons. And Nigeria produces 1.4 million. And the position Nigeria is occupying is not an enviable one, because it might lose it sooner or later to other countries who are investing heavily in oil palm. Even within our neighbor in the Manu River region of West Africa, looking at Sierra Leone and Cote d'Ivoire, they are investing seriously in oil palm. So Ghana is also doing the same thing. DR Congo is investing seriously in oil palm. So also Cameroon and Kenya, of late Kenya. So the position we can lose anytime if we don't do the right thing. And we know the right things to be done.
Interesting. Well, maybe that is what is responsible for the importation amounting to $600 million.
That is importation that is accounted for. We have a lot of exports into Nigeria from Burkina Faso, from Cote d'Ivoire, from Benin Republic, from Ghana, and from Togo that have not been properly accounted for, but yet they find their way into the country using the ECOWAS Trade Liberalization Scheme, ETLS. We are talking about the ones that have been accounted for, the ones that come directly from Indonesia, from Malaysia, maybe from Thailand and Colombia. The ones that have not been accounted for, we don't know the volume, but we can only conjecture.
Well, there is no mincing words when we talk about the significance of the palm oil industry to the country. But what do you say as regards that significance and this time to the country's economy in terms of GDP and its potential to employ not just youth but Nigerians in general?
Well, oil palm in Indonesia is an economy. It's a huge economy that has created 16 million millionaires in Indonesia. It's a huge economy that has created over 10 million millionaires in Malaysia and have lifted them out of poverty. If you look at the Felda scheme in Malaysia and also the core and the plasma scheme in Indonesia, these are schemes of government that were intentionally created to lift their citizens out of poverty and turn them to prosperous people and to create a huge economy for their country. And for Nigeria, we have not yet had a policy or a roadmap or an action plan or even target set to develop this industry. So we are looking at a huge economy that is being disregarded, that is not being regarded in Nigeria. We are looking at oil palm. We have designed a model. Our association, National Palm Produce Association of Nigeria, have designed a model that will generate an economy, that will contribute 5 trillion naira to Nigeria's economy annually. I say again, 5 trillion naira to the GDP of Nigeria annually, and it will be increasing every year. We have designed that model under the National Oil Palm Development Strategy that our technical people can develop. And we can add this to the economy. And this what we will do with this, we will create, it has the potential to create at least 1 million millionaire families every year.
Have you shared this with government, with, say, for example, the Ministry of Agriculture, and is this in the works already?
Well, the Minister of Agriculture has promised us that a technical working group is going to be set up to look at this and consider it and work out a roadmap for implementation. It is a very simple model. It will not require government to donate land or to buy land. It will only require government to nominate and pick families who will be interested to become millionaires after 3 years. When we talk about becoming millionaire, we are talking about creating an economy that would be so sustainable that the country will not only become self-sufficient in palm oil production and its derivative, but also an exporting country. Aside that, using the biomass, remember the palm tree is 10% palm oil and 90% biomass. The huge byproduct of the palm tree is so much that it has its own economy altogether. The world biomass economy will be 1.6 trillion by 2030. Nigeria have not taken a bite of this up till today. But I want to congratulate the president for setting up a committee or a council on carbon credit, which means that government is now beginning to do things differently from successive governments in the past. This, we will want to also work with this carbon credit council to generate a lot of money from this $1.something trillion into the Nigerian economy through palm biomass.
Let's talk about the existing local farmers in the country. How can they be supported as well to adopt best practices and also improve their productivity as well as revenue?
Okay, thank you very much for this all-important question. We want mostly the subnational governments to take a cue from Ondo State government, who has, or even do more. We need access to land. Land belongs to subnational governments. That's the state governments. We need access to land in contiguous zones. Ondo State government donated 10,000 hectares of lands in 3 locations within the state to our association for onward distribution to our members to cultivate and plant and contribute to the economic development of the state and the nation. We want other state governments. We are calling on other state governments, especially in the north central, northeast, the whole of the south, southeast, southwest, south, to take a cue from Ondo State government.
When was this donation made?
Available to us.
When was this donation
available to us in clusters?
Yeah, pardon me. When was this donation made by the Ondo State government?
During the government of may you so rest in peace, late Governor Keredolu in 2021.
Okay.
And there our members are still cultivating and working there and even need more. In Ondo State. We want other state government to do same. Give us land in the name of our association and clear the land for us. We will be paying you royalties. It's not free. Annual royalty will be paid. Survey fees will be paid to the government, and then we'll be planting there, and then these palm trees will be lasting up to 30 years, will be sold in your state. Then when we sell, we still pay tax to government. Government will generate revenue from us. We are calling government not just to dash land. Give it to us. We'll be paying you ground rent and royalties every year. It's not free. And this business will exist in your state. Investors will come and set up mill, and they will hire citizens of the state, and they will be buying off from us to process in this mill, thereby creating an economy within the state. Payee and development tax and other tax will be paid to government. So it is not just I'm giving them land. No, it is doing business with us. Any state government that is ready to give us 50,000, 100,000 hectares, it will be good for the association. It will be good for the economy of the state. It will attract more people to that state to do business, to pay house rent, to contribute. The multiplier effect is huge. And that's what we are asking for. Partnership with state governments.
Interesting. This is an interesting perspective, right? In terms of revenue generation for subnational states across the country. How about investors, right? Local and international investors. They're not farmers, right? They're not members of the association, but they're looking to maximize the opportunities in this sector. What do you say to them? Are there opportunities in the palm oil industry?
The investors.
Yes.
Before we go into the investors.
Yes.
I will also want the federal government to make access to inputs available to members of our association and all the smallholder farmers in the country. We need inputs, hybrid inputs to plant. If government make available inputs and fertilizers to us, it's not going to be free. We don't want anything free from government. Anything you give us, we will pay for it. As an association, it's a policy that we don't take anything free. No, because the business we are doing is a millionaire business. You cannot think of creating millionaires and then you get inputs free.
So
whatever we get, we pay for them.
So Alphonsus, let me know, if you're waiting for government to give you this to pay, why not just go get it yourself?
No, we will pay for them at the point of off-taking.
Okay.
When we are selling, we pay. So government is not giving us grant. Government is making inputs available to us that will be paid for at the point of off-taking. Remember, we are not going to mill. We are only producing the bunches to sell to the off-takers who are the millers. So at the point of off-taking, government will pay. We will now pay for them at the point of off-taking.
All right.
So So, in talking about investors,
yes,
we are calling on investors to build mills in our country. We are calling on them to create clusters in our country and empower smallholder farmers around where they site their mills to produce bunches and fruits for them to offtake and process in their mill. We want investors from around the world to come in. Nigerians that have money build mills, then also get loan to give to the smallholder farmers around where you have your mill, who doesn't have the structure to be able to get loan to plant and harvest and sell to your mill, so that the wealth of oil palm can spread to the community. We don't want investors who will open plantation and build mills and then employ only. It will not help the economy. That is not how Indonesia grew. That is not how Malaysia grew. Malaysia they have Felda. Indonesia, they have the core and the plasma model. The core are the big guys who build mills and plantations and then empower smallholder farmers around their environment who plant. They even build quarters, houses for them and their family. We want the same thing to be done in our country. We want the wealth to spread to the rural people, to the household, to the big investors and the marketers and the exporters. We want this wealth to spread. We don't just want investors to come in and do everything and make all the money. It won't help the industry. Look at all the big plantation owners in the country. How many hectares can they come up with? They produce only 20%. Our members produce the remaining 80% in the country. So we want it to spread. In calling on investors, we want responsible investors who will take the interests of the economy and the communities they operate very serious by getting them involved and becoming active player in the business that they site in their community.
All right. We need to draw the curtain here this morning. I've been speaking with the national president, National Palm Produce Association of Nigeria. I'll just give you the opportunity to have your last word, maybe the key message to stakeholders about the potential in this industry.
For stakeholders, for government, federal and subnational levels, and investors in Nigeria, oil palm is the way to go. I don't see any other business in this country now that gives you more money than oil palm gives. 1 hectare, that is 150 trees, will give you a minimum of 2.5 million naira in profit per year after 3 years, and you keep making that profit for 30 years per hectare. If you have 10, you do the mathematics yourself. I call on investors, come, we are ready to guide you through. The National Palm Produce Association of Nigeria, established in 1990, is come become a member. We will show you the way to go. And we are out to make 1 million household millionaires in Nigeria through this scheme.